So our culture doesn't like to talk about sin, but actually we live in a very judgmental culture that loves to point out people's sin right now. So it's kind of a hypocrisy that people don't like Christians talking about sin, when I think our culture is way more judgmental now than than some of the most judgmental churches that you could imagine. It's gotten toxic. But hey, so maybe our culture will begin to understand how serious sin is. You know, if you're offended by a tweet someone sent 20 years ago, consider a holy God, how offended he might be by all the things we've done. And the purpose of discipline is to help us be rid of our sin, to help us overcome it, to increase our holiness, that our character might be more like God. In fact, all of life is God's training program for becoming more mature. We are eternal students in God's school of existence, in God's school of life. We can never get to a point where we feel like, yeah, I've kind of arrived, I've kind of made it as a Christian. It doesn't happen. We're always students. We're always humble, learning. There's always things we don't understand. There's always more to learn, more ways to change and grow. So, and to become, for example, to become more patient, we must be around people who test our impatience. So, if you're at Trinity, plenty of people around to test your patience. To learn to forgive, we have to be wronged. To learn to love, we have to make sacrifices. To experience peace, we have to resolve conflict. We've got to go through the valley before we get to the peak. And in all of our discomfort, we have to understand discomfort leads to fruitfulness. There's no other way to be fruitful than to go through the discomfort, to embrace it. You know what feels really good? Hitting that beautiful like button. It's just sitting right there, all alone with nothing to do. Help it live to its fullest potential. You know what else feels really good? Embracing that subscribe button. It's like a puppy begging for attention. Just showing it a little bit of love goes a long way. Like and subscribe.